Hi everyone, I wanted to get on here today and show you a card that I made. It's simple yet elegant. You can make it in bulk, and it's just a really nice card to look at when you're giving out through the holidays. So I'm going to show you the products that I used, and then we'll assemble these cards together. Hopefully by the time the video is over, you'll be able to create your own and change up backgrounds and snowflakes. Super fun, right? I'm going to start out with the Delicate Pines stamp set and dies that I used. There's a ton of dies in here, so perfect for just about anything from the greenery to the pine cones to the snowflake. It's a great set. I also purchased the designer series paper. The paper is called Elegant Pine Snowflakes. And what's great about this set is the paper is printed so that you can put the die directly over the image and cut it out. You don't have to stamp it, nothing else. So it makes it super easy to just put your dies on there for the small snowflake, the larger snowflake, run it through your machine, and boom, you have your pieces. I love that about this paper pack. Another set that I used for the sentiments was Sweet Candy Canes. They had some cute little sayings on there. This is an older set, but still comes in handy for sure. I used Spellbinders, the Forever Green embossing folder, and you can see it's got the little pine needles. Came out really nice with this card. Something else I'm going to try is using these strips. They're from a company called Love from Lizzie, and they give you just a faux strip of gold or silver instead of having to cut paper and trim it down real fine. I'm going to try and use these strips. I don't know if it'll adhere to the embossed card, but we're going to give it a shot. All right, I've got all my pieces cut already. And we are going to start out with the card that doesn't have any embossing. And for this one, I did cut a little silver strip of paper, but like I mentioned, I think I might try the sticker strips instead. A couple tools you might want to have handy. Definitely some sort of adhesive or tape runner. This is the tape gun I use. It's kind of big, but comes in handy with all that tape on there. Or you can have some regular glue with a fine tip on it. I've got my blocks ready for stamping it. The sentiments were stamped in shaded spruce from Stampin' Up. I have some foam dots or foam pieces to lift up the snowflake. And then I have my little embellishments. Oh, and of course we can't forget the infamous poker tool. All right, I went ahead and I stamped, oh, I did not do this one, I apologize. I thought I stamped the sentiment inside because I like to do that first and get that out of the way. Then I can just work on the front of my card. Okay, got that. All right, I'm going to start out just by adhering this piece. And I have a tendency to do everything sideways. When I do it this direction, I can't seem to get it straight. So when I do it from the side, I can kind of eyeball whether it's in the middle or it's off-centered. All right, there's that. Now we're going to adhere it to our card. I didn't realize how big this tape gun is on the camera. All right. So we're going to want this, we're going to leave about 1/4 of an inch from the edge. The sentiment, or the front sentiment that I chose to use, says warmest winter wishes. And you just want to make sure that you're going to have enough room to stamp that on there after we put our silver strip. With using the sticker strip, there'll be plenty of space for it. But if you are going to use a paper strip, you're going to need a little bit more room from it. Excuse me, a little bit more room for it. Yeah, that would still fit. But let's see if we can make this work. I'm going to use a little bit of a thicker one. And I think I'm going to go just a little bit off the edge of the paper. It helps me get it centered properly. I can't even get it to stay down. Okay. All right. Let's see how this looks. It's subtle, yet pretty. So let me go ahead and clip this. Just make sure it's adhered down before you do. And you can always save the rest of the piece and put it back onto the little sticker pad that it comes on. All right, perfect. So there is that. And now we're gonna put our snowflake on there. Gonna get our 3D foam pieces. Oops, I stuck that too far on there. So does anyone have any of their Christmas gifts purchased? I know we've got Black Friday coming up next week. I kind of do some of my shopping before Black Friday because they seem to have some really good deals. And then other times I actually fight the crowds and do some shopping on Black Friday. Sometimes it's kind of fun to have that instant gratification of going home with presents instead of having to wait for them all to come online. All right, I'm gonna stick this just about right there. Looks centered to me. And let's see. One step I should have completed before putting the snowflake on is putting on the outer greeting. And yeah, I look a little weird. I put mine on at a diagonal. I guess everybody has their ways of doing things. Perfect. All right, and then I'm going to get my embellishments here. And just put a little silver piece right in the center. And I'm going to do one more down here by Warmest Wishes. All right, so there we go. We have our faux strip, silver paper strip. And like I said, it took just 10 minutes. Now I did have everything pre-cut. One thing great about this card is that you can choose any print for your strip here. If you have a large snowflake die, you can do the same. You can do printed paper, solid paper, and then when you choose your background here, that can be any color that you would like. So that's what makes this card so versatile. I love that about it. All right, now let's get to the other one that has the embossing on it. Okay. Oh, let me give you the sizes of these paper pieces. So the card is a classic A2, which is 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. The printed strip is 1 1/4 by 5 1/2. The green strip is 1 1/2 by 5 1/2. And then of course the little silver strip would be 5 1/2 inches. That's all inches. We're going to come to this one here, and I made this one 4 inches by 5 1/4, and that's the embossed piece. So pretty. Oh, sorry. Keep bumping the camera and take this thing out. All right, and I did add some extra adhesive to this because this is pretty thick cardstock and it will lift if there's not enough on there. So let's see if we can get this on there. Okay, here's that. Okay, we got those together. Make sure my card's going the right way. I made a card the other day, had my my cover all complete, and realized that the card was opening from this side and not the right side. That was kind of a bummer, all that work. I did figure out, however, to remove the top and adhere it to another card base. All right, and this one I made a little shorter. So this one, the pieces are Still 1 1/4 inch in width for the printed, but it is 4 inches, excuse me, it's 5 1/4 inches in length. So 1 1/4 by 5 1/4. The green piece is 1 1/2 by 5 1/4. Now let me grab another one of these strips and see if I can get this to stick. They all want to come off together. Okay. Should probably have my nails taken off. That might make this a little bit easier. All right. Oh, look at that. Okay, looks like it's gonna stay. Those little silver strips are sticky. They don't want to separate. Okay, now here's something I noticed is that at the bottom here, it came out a little bit. So I'm going to just lift it, reposition it, and then press it down. So that's what makes this great, is that it's easily repositionable. I'm going to cut this little end off. It's going to bother me. All right, there we go. And once again, let's get our snowflake here. But before we do that, we're going to see if we can get our sentiment to stamp through the embossed paper. Because like I said, this is a pretty thick topper or piece of paper. I'm not calling it the right thing tonight. Oh wow, that came out nice. I wasn't sure if I need to stamp it prior to embossing it, or if it would just go right over the top, and luckily it goes right over the top. That makes it great. All right, let's get some foam pieces here. So what does everybody think? If you're a Stampin' Up person, I am not a demonstrator. I am simply just a buyer. I've loved their product for a very long time. I've been a demonstrator in the past, but yeah, I learned I'm better off just being a buyer. It's much more fun. No, I'm just kidding. But what does everybody think of them going to just the photopolymer stamps? They're doing away with the red rubber. I like the red rubber because it's a very consistent image. But I also like the photopolymer because you can see exactly where you're stamping. So it's kind of a catch-22 there. I can't really say I have a preference of one over the other, but I'm curious what everybody else thinks. All right, we're going to do this in the middle again. We're going to add our little gemstone. Okay. And if you have a personalized stamp, I always tell people stamp the back of your work. You spend too much time making it to not give yourself credit for doing it. So, what does everybody think? Was that a simple card? Was it somewhat an intermediate level? What are your thoughts? Leave them in the comments. Thank you.